Hello and welcome to the Nature's Academy video tutorial for accessing data from the Citizen Science database and creating a scatterplot, which can be used to represent trends between two variables. What we'll be exploring today are air temperature and water temperature. You'll need a computer with Microsoft Excel and an internet connection to get data. So first step, we need to access the database itself. Up here you'll see we're at naturesacademy.org/citizen-science-database. You can also navigate straight to our home page, come over and click on Citizen Science Database, and it'll pull up this page. So a little bit about the database. All of our data is managed by the Gulf Coast Ocean Observing System, also known as GCOOS. You can see over here that our partner, the Galveston Bay Foundation, also contributes quite a bit of data. Today we are interested in the Nature's Academy program data. We're going to click on Get Data, narrow it down a bit. Select Nature's Academy, it'll open this screen. So while that loads, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to get data. We have some filters on either side, so there are 995 data points in here. Promise we won't be working with that many. The map feature here, you can zoom in or out. Your program is represented here at one of these locations. Today we're going to be looking at our temperature data for Fort DeSoto East Beach and Fort DeSoto North Beach. We'll come over here to Site, click on the one we want, narrows it down significantly, and this one sends it right back up. So since we're looking at water and air temperature, we want to represent a full year of data, all 4 seasons. So it looks like 2018, we've not quite completed the year yet. We're actually going to go back, select 2015, 16, and 17. The more data, the merrier. You can see that our map view has responded appropriately to our filtering. Even if we zoom in, you can see, oh yeah, there's Fort DeSoto. So if you'd like to filter even further, you can filter by month or even by day. We're not getting that specific today. We do want to scroll down to our data table. Now here, these are kind of the default water quality weather parameters that display when you select those locations. We don't want all this stuff, so we're going to come over here to column visibility, give that a click. We're going to get rid of site because we know it's Fort DeSoto from the filters we used previously. Click. We're also going to get rid of dissolved oxygen, pH, and salinity. So all we want represented are date, air temp, and water temp, both in degrees Celsius. Over here, we'll click on Show 10 Rows, come down to Show All, and then we're going to save as XLSX. So that's where having Excel is very handy. All right, so we're going to come over here to Enable Editing because we know it's from a secure source. And we see we have some gaps in our data as we scroll down. There's a little bit of data missing. So Excel tries to be very helpful in representing all of your data, even if some are missing. Now, if you do that, it'll display this is 0, this is 22, and it won't be a very good looking graph. It'll cause all sorts of problems that we definitely don't want. So we're going to click on B up here to highlight the whole column. If you click down here, you're only going to get cell B1, and we want B1, 2, 3, 4, and so on all the way down. So we're going to click on B. Come over here to Sort and Filter, and sort smallest to largest. If it asks you to expand the selection, we want to sort. Come all the way down here. Now selecting row 109, we're going to drag it down, keeping your cursor clicked. Clicking and holding, and we're at the end of our data. So with your cursor in the fields we've selected, you want to right-click, click Delete. Now we still see some gaps in our data because we have not sorted the water temperature yet. So again, same process, click on the column itself, sort and filter, smallest to largest, yes, expand the selection. Come on down again and delete the rows in the same way, clicking and dragging, right-click, delete. Now that we've made our data nice and pretty, hopefully Excel will be able to read it and give us an equally pretty graph. So we're going to come up here, highlight both columns this time. Now we're going to insert our table. To do that, we come up to the, you guessed it, the Insert tab, over to our Charts area. Now here's where you can add lots of different charts, a bar graph, a line graph, pie chart. We want the scatter plot, but one neat feature that Excel has is it looks at your data you've selected and it tries to predict what you want it to populate. So let's click on that. Let's see what happens. Ah, excellent. Looks like we've communicated with the technology very well because we have our scatter plot nice and pretty all ready for us to go. Click OK. Now our next step is to make sure we have all of the chart elements that we need for it to be a proper graph. So we come over to, yes, the chart elements feature, that little plus sign, and we're going to add axis titles. We're also going to add a trend line because we can visually see what the trend is, but that helps us recognize instantly what our relationship is. Trend line there. Excellent. Click on that plus sign to get that menu to go away. Now we have our axis titles, but Excel is not smart enough to know what we want to call them. So we're going to call this our air temperature. In the same style, go over here, copy that. There we go. Highlight all of it, there we go. And paste, there we go, copying and pasting. Didn't know that'd be the most difficult part. Now we're gonna come over here, copy water temp, degrees Celsius. If you can't see what I'm doing, I'm using my Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste respectively. All right. So the reason why we know this is air temperature and this is water temperature is because we're going back to our ordered pairs, our math knowledge. So in an ordered pair, X comma Y, right, in those parentheses, this is our X since it's our first value, and this is our Y. That's exactly how we want it. On our X axis, we want to make sure that's the independent variable, and we want to see how it influences the dependent variable on the Y axis. So in this case, we know that air temperature has more of an effect on water temperature than water temperature does on air. So that's all good. If we want to do another double check, you can actually look at the ordered pair here and make sure that they're represented appropriately. Now here you can type in your title. So let's call this, let's see, Fort DeSoto. And oops, get that out of the way here so we can see what we're doing. Air temperature, water and air temperature. Excellent. So you're welcome to call it whatever you like. I feel that that is the short and sweet way of explaining what this graph shows. And we're done. So that's the kind of easy way to do a scatter plot. Excel also has a lot of really neat features where you can come over here to Chart Tools. You can change the look of it. If you want a different background, you want your plots to glow, you want it to be blue. You can also click on this little paintbrush, move over to Style, change the colors, play around with it. But your base graph is done, and now it's up to you how you want it to look and how you want to print it. You can also change by going to Home, clicking on the graph itself. You can change the font color. You want it to be, let's see, let's make it purple. Purple, hooray! So again, up to you how you want it to look, but your base graph is done. You can copy this into a Word document, into a PowerPoint very easily. Microsoft programs, for the most part, talk very well back and forth. I did want to thank you all for joining me on our video tutorial today, and we hope to see you back to make best use of the Citizen Science database.